12 years ago, Cody Brown and his 4 wives showed the world a happy polygamous family.
When he looks at you with those eyes, you are the most important person in the world. You are loved far more than any woman in the world has ever been loved before.
But now, one wife has left.
No, I don't want to embarrass you.
I'm sorry.
I have decided to leave. I'm going to leave Cody.
I don't want to see Christine ever again.
And fractures are dividing the Brown family.
You never tried to have a really good relationship with these other people.
I have seen her
Janelle and her kids are on one side, and Robin and Cody are on the other, and none of us wanted to be here.
As lines are being drawn.
Cody, you were asking me to choose between my children and you.
That's not true.
I think he has a favorite wife, and that's why all of this is like it is. Sorry to see you go.
If he can't handle my independence, then I don't know if this works for me anymore.
Janelle, this is a really bad idea for you to walk off on this one.
Coming up, I sit down individually with Janelle, Mary, to discuss the events that have shaped their lives. Why isn't there an openness to talk and help?
Because the relationships aren't good. It's that simple.
It must have hurt when she said that she doesn't want to have a relationship with you.
Oh, yeah. That was really, really hard. You can put me down as much as you want after a while, but then when I hit my wall, I'm done.
Did you know there was a moment in the past where he thought about reconciling?
I don't know what you're talking about.
It was I was no longer angry with her for what I had gone through in my life with her.
Do you think if Christine didn't object that Mary and Cody would have gotten back together?
Yeah. Because when Cody would do that.
Stop doing that.
Yeah.
Stop
Acceptance.
asking her. Stop groveling. That was where I was. Stop groveling. Because Christine's never going to love you.
They handed him to me and said, we don't want to spend time with him, basically.
Is Robin the favorite wife?
You know, that's the most unfair question.
For Janelle, I think that she's frustrated and she's so hurt. And that man that she was married to, she realizes that he's totally different, but she's different too.
Janelle has made it pretty clear to me that she's enjoying her life without me.
I think if we both really sat down, we'd look at each other and say, really?
This is Sister Wives One-on-One.
Look at that beautiful sunrise. Anyway, I'm headed to town, basically to sit down and talk about my past.
Sometimes there's some pretty harsh things said in one-on-one interviews that would not be said otherwise.
I think Suki tries really hard to do a good job of figuring out the balance of the truth between all of us, but she's got a very large task ahead of her.
I think it's especially hard now that we are separately interviewing, because before answer, so these are definitely more raw, more real.
So some of the hardest parts of my whole entire life during the last year is what we're going to be talking about.
Can I have my elbow back?
Sure.
All right, am I good to go back then? I know they were doing something with the...
Yeah, we'll just see if that's okay.
I think we should be ready to roll.
Okay.
I like it. I like it.
In 5, 4, 3.
How are you doing?
I'm super,
Yeah?
I think. Yeah, how are you?
I'm all right. Yeah, the family's good. Everybody's good. How are your kids? Everybody's good?
Yeah. everybody's
Congratulations. You became
Oh, I don't know if you're going to draw out anything to me that I haven't thought of yet.
good. Well, to be determined.
Yeah, let's
be
see.
determined.
You know that I'm just going to spill it all anyway.
It's perfect. Well, let's talk about you and Christine. And this conversation, I feel, was the first time that you both really decided to talk really honestly about where you stand.
One thing about this conversation
Yeah.
is Christine was completely decided. Whatever she'd done over the past 10 or 2 years, I don't know what it was, but she was completely decided.
And where were you?
In denial.
Okay, let's watch this.
You're the one that and you told me that it wasn't.
Why are you insisting on holding on to me?
I'm
Why?
Whoa.
This isn't working, Cody. You said it wasn't working too. You said you were not
Christine, I
interested
think it's not working, but...
in me. You were interested in a sexual marriage with me. You said that. You said people survive for years without having an intimate marriage. You said that.
You're
Expecting
blaming
that from
me for me being turned off by your behavior.
It's so embarrassing.
I tried so.
Everything but treat your sister wives with kindness and respect.
I don't know what you mean by that.
Okay.
Loyal, it feels like, because I feel betrayed.
So basically what he's saying is the reason he's not attracted to me is because I treat my sister wives terrible? Is that what he's saying? I don't care what he's saying. I'm not being mean.
It's true, we married under circumstances that were not romantic.
They were for me. They weren't for you.
Okay, we can unravel this farther because it's true that I wasn't attracted to you when we got married.
I'm not interested in intimate marriage with you anymore. Let's just look at present, where we are.
Yeah, marriage sucks.
Do you want to be married to me? Do you want to
Christine, do you want to be... I'm good with that. Nobody's a prisoner here.
Don't insult me. Tell me straight up. If you don't want to be married to me anymore, you don't want to have an intimate marriage with me anymore, flip and tell me. It is cowardly. Man, up.
It's been worse for Mary. You and I have had way more romance than me and Mary have had in 5 years.
I would never, ever want what you and Mary have. And I would never want what you and I have. And nor do I want Mary to have that relationship with you. No way. That's hard. That's so heartbreaking.
I get so frustrated when he's like, yeah, but Mary's doing this and she's fine. I'm like, why are you comparing my marriage with you with your marriage with Mary? Why don't we compare your marriage?
Sitting here going, this... All right.
Why would you want me to stay?
Because I'm supposed to.
You don't want to. You don't really want to.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry too.
This is so 4 years of context, not that moment of context. Initially, my issue was I thought Christine was playing a game. And so I just went, I was ambivalent.
We understand that.
From the time we were married, manipulation, pouting, temper tantrums, I mean, just behavior things.
I need you to help me understand that. Was Christine playing you and playing the game? Because it seems very, very cold. Like a cold thing to say, not something that a husband would say to his wife.
Some of the games that were happening were things like when we moved to Flagstaff, Arizona, I was trying to reconcile with Mary. And Mary gave me this really cool birthday present. And I'm in this place expressing to Janelle, Christine, and she comes to a family party and leaves yelling to one of the kids that she was in a loveless marriage. This is 2 years before she kicks me out.
Why that reaction from Christine?
I was trying to reconcile with Mary because there's something wrong in the relationship between Mary and Christine.
Well, then he also seemed offended when he said, I want to have a relationship and compared your relationship to the one that he has with Mary. He almost seemed offended by it.
Why would I be offended to a marriage that's broken like that? Like, why don't you compare me to your relationship with Robin if we're going to sit here and compare?
Then why did he get offended by that?
Conversation forever and ever and about time, all of that. And he kept saying, stop comparing, stop comparing. I'm like, dude, I don't think I'm the one that's comparing here.
But he called it poison.
I know.
Was he saying you're the poison, or was he comparing the relationship to being poison?
I don't know. I think both. I think he's saying I'm the poison. I don't think he was saying our relationship's the poison. I think that for him, he would be fine if we just had a platonic, completely not even friends. For some reason, that was fine. That's not a marriage. I'm sorry, it's not.
I mean, here you see her saying, I don't want my relationship compared to Mary's.
Well, I don't think that should have even been brought up. Like, I thought that was really not cool.
Of Cody?
Get Christine's reaction. Like, why would you do that? Why would you compare? No husband should ever, ever, ever compare one wife to the other.
I think he was saying, why can't you just play along like Mary?
She said, I have played along for a really long time and it's like hurting my soul. She didn't use those words, but that was,
I get it.
you know what I mean? And she was just doing it as long as she could.
But Mary, has it not hurt your soul?
Sure it has.
Why isn't there an openness to talk and help? Because
the relationships aren't good. It's that simple. This is the one thing everybody keeps missing here.
Yeah.
They keep comparing me and Mary, me and Janelle, me and Robin, me and Christine, or not on its own merits, on whatever skill you have to communicate, or whatever loving ability, or whatever kindness, or whatever cruelty, or whatever game playing you do will affect your relationship. And you can't compare it to these other ones that don't have those same kind of things going on, whether it's good or bad.
I knew she was unhappy. I know that, like, especially during COVID, there was even more wedges driven. And I think she finally reached the point where, she knew that for her own happiness and self-preservation, she needed to do something.
I feel like...
Well, see, this is the thing is, like, I would...
How would you fight to get that bad? Would you fight to get that back?
Oh, yeah. I'd march his butt into a therapist so fast. I wouldn't say I would not allow him not to talk to me. I don't allow that. Like, we're going to talk. We're going to work this stuff through.
And how do you force somebody to be attracted to you?
You don't. You don't.
Because when he says that he's lost that component, that attraction, that physical connection.
No, I do think that his attraction is based on that person's behavior. He has a tendency, and I watched him like struggling, and then, you know, that wife like kind of turns a new leaf or whatever it is, or they talk and they figure something out, and she's being supportive and kind and stuff like that, and he just melts. And he's like, they hung the moon, they're amazing, I love them to pieces. I watched him do it over and over and over again.
To hear that he wasn't attracted to me it was terrible to hear. And it's super embarrassing, right? Ugh. I just got to thinking, you know what? It really just goes both ways. I really just wasn't attracted. After he said that, I was kind of like, oh, well, then I'm done. Then it's over. It was almost a relief. Well, then I'm not going to keep fighting for this, and I'm not going to keep trying, and I'm not going to keep doing nothing.
Do you believe the lack of attraction is an excuse just for your bad behavior, or was it the bad behavior that led to the lack of attraction?
I don't know, but that statement just made me mad.
Really?
Yes. I'm not a child. I'm your wife. You don't talk to me like that. My bad behavior, that's just insulting. Please, I'm an adult. That's just rude and belittling. No, how dare you? I was furious when he said bad behavior.
How did you feel when he finally accepted it?
Finally, gosh, huge weight. Finally, at the end of the conversation, I was like, good, because it's over. Come on, stop fighting for something that your ego's attached to.
What, this is over?
Well, the whole COVID experience justified a lot of things for a lot of people, or really brought people to a reality. I think that COVID definitely was a catalyst. But I think the intimacy issue was her justification. A bad marriage is a bad marriage. Everybody expects you to just go and figure it out and fix the marriage. What if a marriage just isn't fixable? So this is where she was ballsy enough to just go, hey, Cody, I'm out. And I was like, I don't want to be a quitter. And she's going, well, you're a coward. Well, no, 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 no. I'm not a coward. Nothing scares me but poverty. Nothing.
But as I'm watching all of this transpire, it feels over.
Because it didn't feel like it had to be over. I mean, like, listen, we're not talking about the destruction of her and my intimate relationship. We're talking about the destruction of this whole family bond. And it's weird that there's just one person that can do that.
Coming up, I'm going to ask one thing if you could say to Christine right now. What would you say to her?
I wish that she would have let me in.
I haven't for years had a good relationship really with Mary or Robin, not really.
And later,
I just told her straight up, no, we're not going to be friends.
Okay, we're ready when you guys are.
when all the sister wives sit down and you start having this conversation about divorce, Did you know at that point that there was a huge separation that was going to take place? But this was like a really big moment for all of you. And you looked shocked and very, very upset.
I have these hopes and these dreams, and they're not always realistic. So, excuse me.
It's okay.
I knew that he hadn't been staying there, but I still had this hope that they were still going to work it through. And so I was living in that hope. I was living in that idea.
So your reaction in this clip is that living in that hope space.
Yeah.
Okay, let's watch the clip.
Okay, so I've needed to talk to you guys for a long time. It's true. And I have decided to leave. I'm gonna leave Cody. Just leave.
I know that they're gonna be frustrated and mad and hurt and feel betrayed. And what does that mean to be a sister wife then? And my with Janelle is gonna stay like that. How not very close I am with Robin and Mary is gonna stay like that too.
I feel strongly this is the best choice for me.
I'm so worried this is what you were gonna talk about.
Yeah. Yeah.
If women are not married to the same man, you're not a sister wife anymore.
Are you guys sure? I mean, like, that's what's so weird. It's like, are you guys sure?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're sure.
Yeah.
Each one of us made a commitment to each other, you know, that we would love each other, that we would respect each other, that we would...
Again, if everybody's willing to conform to patriarchy again, I guess, and not having the family that I had thought about and designed.
Yeah, I didn't know I'd signed up for patriarchy, but that's not what we all agreed on in the very beginning. But
ironically, Janelle did sign up for patriarchy. When her and I made an agreement that she would come into the family, she agreed wholeheartedly that she would run her will into mine because I had to be the head of the family. And she made that agreement with me.
So is Christine still your sister wife?
In my head, she is. Well, that's been horrible and hard, but I don't know how to just have her not be my sister wife. I don't know how to process that.
It must have hurt when she said that she doesn't want to have a relationship with you.
Oh, yeah. That was really, really hard.
How did that hit? Where did that hit?
I always thought that eventually Christine would open herself up to me. You know, because, you know, when we were older, sitting there with our grandkids and just getting that sisterhood that we saw some of these older women in our church have.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like Christine robbed you of that?
Yes, she took it away. She took that away. And then the kind of, and then when I started going, well, maybe if Cody's out of the picture for her, you know, a different relationship, that's something different.
Why does Christine not want to have a relationship with you? I just don't understand it.
I don't know.
Does she feel like you in some way has sabotaged her relationship?
If she does, she's wrong. She's absolutely wrong, because all I've ever been is supportive of her relationship with Cody. All, I promise you. That's all I've ever done is support her relationship with Cody.
I'm gonna ask you one thing if you could say to Christine right now. What would you say to her at this moment?
Wow. I wish that she would have let me in.
I mean, at this point here, when we had this conversation, I really honestly, I could tell Robin was heartbroken.
Yeah, she was.
You know, she'd been pushing for Cody and I to have a good relationship.
But you're not having a relationship with your other sister wives, right?
I haven't for a long time. I haven't for years had a good relationship really with Mary or Robin. Not really. I mean, not bad. Like, Mary and I aren't good or anything, but Robin and I aren't bad. I didn't think so. I thought that Robin and I were okay. Not that we were like bosom sisters or super close or anything like that.
She actually said the one thing that let her in.
I thought that I did.
Coming up, do you feel like Christine left you, or did she leave Cody?
I felt very betrayed by her, and that she was leaving me too, because she has always said, I didn't just want the man, I want the sister wives.
For Mary, to be fair, she feels betrayed by you. Why do you think she thinks that way?
Because I ended the friendship. I ended the relationship. I did. I ended it. It wasn't safe for me anymore.
You said you've always been this independent woman. Now you have Christine striking her independence. You've got Mary that's kind of been living independently, and the only person that's really been in this relationship with him. Do you feel like Christine left you, or did she leave Cody in the situation? Or did she abandon the whole family?
At the time that she first was telling us, that's really how I felt. I felt very betrayed by her, and that she was leaving me too, because she has always said, I didn't just want the man, I want the sister wives, you know? And I know what kind of relationship she and I have had in the past. It's been fun. It's not been super, super deep, but it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So, and I miss that. I've missed that for a lot of years with her.
It seems like at one point in your relationship, you guys were a lot of hurt between the two of you, where you both went to each other's corners and never came back.
Right.
Why?
I don't know exactly what the deal is.
You know what you did.
Well, I mean, I have not always been the perfect person or the perfect wife or the perfect sister wife. It just kind of comes down to, like, we're just not safe with each other. And I don't think there was one thing. Like, it was over time.
Safe with each other because you don't trust each other?
Probably. Probably, yeah.
For Mary, to be fair, she feels betrayed by you. She's using these really strong words. Why do you think she thinks that way?
Because I ended the friendship. I ended the relationship. I don't trust you, and I'm not going to do that to myself anymore.
So when you closed the door, did it stay that way forever?
For me, yeah. We tried a little bit here and there in Vegas, but her treatment of me wasn't nice. She wouldn't be nice to me. She was just putting me down a lot in public situations, like especially if like her family was there. She would just put me down too. And you can put me down as much as you want. You can't, as much as you want after a while, but then when I hit my wall, I'm done.
And you didn't feel like she was something that you wanted to fight for?
No, because then sure she would be nice for a while, but then she would just come out again. And I just never knew who to expect. And it was just too stressful.
Yeah. Panic attack of saying, like, are you sure? Are you going to let this happen? At that moment, were you sure? As sure as Christine was in saying that she is getting a divorce and this is how it's going to be?
No, I wasn't as sure, but I should have been. Because Christine was moving on. She starts this, she's smiling. Hey, I'm leaving. That's because she's looking forward to a future.
And you were at that moment?
And I'm at that moment going, I screwed this up. I should have been more patriarchal. Now, that's a dumb idea, I realize, okay? But in the moment, I'm sitting there going, wait a second, ladies. She wouldn't be leaving, and we wouldn't have had all these problems during COVID if I would have just been the head of my...
Run your will.
Well, that's a canned request. Christine has to be in the family. Janelle has to be in the family. And basically, I said, if you want to be in the family, then you have to understand, I need you to run your will to mine. Are you okay with that? Because I'm going to be the head of the family. I've got 2 wives I have to take care of. I have a very big picture. Will you understand that? Will you help me with it? And they're like, yeah, me, pick me. I mean, literally. And I'm like, okay, they're compliant. We can make this family situation work. In the end, it wasn't ever like that.
When I married Cody, I totally looked at him as head of our family.
Do you still?
Yeah. I absolutely do. And I can do whatever I want. Like, are you gonna, support me in that as well?
But do those two fit in the same puzzle?
Maybe it's looking like they're not.
Now all of a sudden this is his tune. Like, I'm gonna be the head of my household. If you don't agree with me, then you're not gonna be around me.
Is it because he lost complete control of his family? Because
I think
He's like, what I set out to do, it's not.
I love that it's like, I set out, I tried to prove, I'm like, we were all in this together, buddy. You know what I mean? But I think, because he's been making some noise, like even last year, he's like, look, plural marriage is standing in the way of my personal progress. He said that to us one time. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he doesn't weird because he's changed his tune.
You said you've always been this independent woman. Now you have Christine striking her independence. You've got Mary that's kind of been living independently. And the only person that's really been in this relationship with him feels like Robin.
The way he wants his relationship to look, right?
Right.
And maybe...
Or what he initially set out to do.
See, it's not that's not how we initially set it up.
So how did you?
We were going to work together as a team to raise this family. That was really our main goal. There wasn't conversations like this, like, well, I'll be in charge, like for decades. And now just the last few years, it has felt like he wanted his life to look more like that.
The relationship that he has with Robin.
It works for them, that's wonderful.
Does that feel like really unfair?
It feels like it would be nice if I had a husband who would see my perspective as much as he seems to see Robin's.
That's a loaded, loaded statement.
Yep, it is. Yep, it is.
Coming up, I want to talk about you actually saying that she has to sleep with somebody else to technically...
Yes, that technically breaks it.
Because then that's adultery?
Yes, yes.
So Robin's saying that if she sleeps with another man, that's when the covenant is broken? Is that when it's broken?
See, and that would be according to the religious dogma, but you know, I don't know where Cody's at spiritually. We haven't talked about it for a long time.
But isn't faith one of the cornerstones to the plural marriage?
Well, yeah, in theory. So I think a relationship is all kinds of things: commitment, spirituality, compatibility.
But the word divorce, it seems like there's a really big gray area around the word divorce.
Well, for us, because there's no legal marriage.
Okay. Well, I want us to take a look at this clip and the definitions of it for everybody, because it seems like everybody has a different definition of it.
Now, how do you really do that? I mean, like we have a spiritual marriage. How do you break up? How do you have a spiritual?
Yeah, we're done. It's really honestly over. Usually, our church would say you're divorced. You have to go ask for a divorce.
Yeah.
You have to get paperwork. You have to get approval. You have to prove that the marriage is broken. You know, and technically, from my understanding, until Christine is physical with another man, she's not divorced.
Well, the closure that she's saying that she gets is that she just decides, and he just kind of goes along with it. So I don't know. Like, Cody and I are in this situation. We're not legally married. I want to work.
I don't really consider myself married to Mary. If she wanted to move on and marry another, she wouldn't get an argument with me.
So what does divorce look like for you? Because
yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is that Christine no longer embraces the faith. So it's really nebulous. Like, in our church, you do have to go through channels to be released, to be divorced. So you would have to go, you don't have a legal contract, so you don't go to the judge, but you're going to go to religious authorities and say, look, we really want to separate. But Christine no longer believes in that.
But Cody does still.
Yeah, and so, but
with somebody else to technically...
Yes, that technically breaks it.
Because then that's adultery?
Yes, yes.
But if she's only spiritually married to him, can't one person opt out of the relationship because it's a spiritual covenant? It's not
According to our beliefs, no. Because I feel like we built these marriages with our beliefs in our heads and in our hearts. So to break them, it has to be the same system. But that's me.
My understanding is that this goes into the afterlife, right?
Yes.
You guys are all bound to each other.
Yes,
for eternity.
That's the belief, yeah. That's our beliefs.
So even though Christine...
If she's going to go her plan is to go find her soulmate.
Yeah.
So that would break that bond.
Okay, so if she is with another man and has sex with another man, then all ties to Cody are completely...
That's my understanding.
done.
That's my understanding, yes. According to our beliefs, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Robin's saying that if she sleeps with another man, that's when the covenant is broken. Is that when it's broken?
See, and that would be according to the religious dogma, but does it really apply to Christine if she doesn't believe? I don't know. I don't know, because I still have such a testimony of plural marriage, but I see Christine's perspective, and you can't.
She could basically sleep with whoever she wants.
Yeah, she can have whatever kind of relationship she wants to.
And if she has sex with another man, are you going to sit there and give her an applause?
No, I'm going to be like,
are you happy?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, are you happy? Did you find somebody who can finally give you what you need, that deep fulfillment? I think this is Christine's thoughts according to Janelle. I think she's looking for that deep connection, that deep companionship.
Coming up.
And so my other three best friends, I expressed that to. Baby.
It's okay.
Mary and I could work it out, maybe. I'm going like that.
At a reconciliation. She doesn't want that. She couldn't deal with that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't really consider myself married to Mary. If she wanted to move on and marry another, she wouldn't get an argument with me.
How does that make you feel when you hear Cody say that he doesn't consider himself married to you, and that if you were able to find somebody else, that he'd be okay with it? How does that make you feel?
It just doesn't make sense to me that he would be so frustrated with Christine and be like, he says, no, I don't consider myself married to Mary. He just made the decision. I've never heard him say that to me.
Yeah.
Even since being in Flagstaff, he has led me to believe that he was trying. Our first anniversary that we had here in Flagstaff, cheers to a new beginning, as opposed to this last anniversary, he's like, I don't even know why you called me Mary. He's like, we're not married. We're not acting as married. And I said to him then, if that's where we are, don't you think that we should address that publicly? And he said, no, I don't want to address it. I don't want to address it. I don't want that to be out there publicly because I don't want that judgment.
Where does that leave you?
He made the decision. You just saw him say that.
Would you guys ever think about reconciliation? Would you ever think about reconciliation?
I would. I definitely would. But I don't think that he's interested.
Yeah. Did you know there was a moment in the past that he actually spoke to me about where he thought about reconciling? And do you know the moment I'm talking about?
I have no idea.
One thing that I want to circle back on is that you mentioned the gift that Mary gave you that made you want to reconcile with her. Can you share what that gift was?
Rice River marriage. She included even our bad years, the ones where I'm basically we're not really married, I don't think, here. And the expression was sweet, and the mood that I was in was the right mood to try and think about reconciliation.
Guess how many's in there?
18?
You're such a dork.
Why? How many are in there? Oh, our years of marriage.
So now, do you know how many would be in there?
Nope. How many years have we been married?
Are you serious?
31 years?
30.
Holy cow.
It was that I was no longer angry with her for what I'd gone through in my life with her. I was willing to see the error of my ways and then work to determine whether we were good with each other anymore.
Wow.
And so my other three best friends, I expressed that to. Baby.
It's okay.
Mary and I could work it out, maybe. I'm going like that with these three women, and it just rattles Christine.
Do you know that there was an anniversary where you made Rice Krispie treats for every year that you guys were married? So open to reconciling with you because he felt that that was the moment that he could put the past away and be with you.
That's interesting that he felt like that because that is also the same day that he was like, we went out on a picnic and he was saying, no, you're supposed to have been courting me. I said, Cody, I've been waiting for you. He's like, I'm not coming. I've been waiting for you, honestly.
And I'm not coming.
I know that. After I turned off my camera, I put my arms around him, up around his neck, and I said, what would you do if I just kissed you right now? He was physically aboard, and he was backing up, but it didn't last through the evening, I guess.
Well,
I would be open to it.
He kind of mentioned that there was a family get-together and that Christine found out about it, and Christine balked at a reconciliation, and that made him sort of reconsider.
I don't know what you're talking about. She balked at a reconciliation
With you,
me and Cody?
Yeah, that she doesn't want that, she couldn't deal with that.
I never knew about that moment with him, and I never knew about the moment with Christine until you just told me.
Next time on Sister Wives One-on-One.
She was at my house and she was falling apart, and I feel so bad. I
support him and Mary having a great relationship, and I would never do that.
Breaking up a marriage when you're not in love, I get it. But to assuage her guilt, she has blamed me for everything.
I feel angry. I'm angry at them all.
Do you believe that Robin is the favorite wife?
I think she has a lot of influence.
I was so mad at her at that time that I was like, you walk away and this is over.
Is it love?
At this point, no, it's not.
So are you separated?
Yes, we're separated.
Do you want to work on it?
I won't go to a place where I'm not respected, because love doesn't matter to me. Respect matters to me.